for them. So this installation, oh thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
So all this installation was, oh my god.
Wow. That's insane. Calming down.
Oh, it's painful, come on. What are you doing to us? Stop.
Holy cow. I was not expecting this, like, at all. Alright, so we made it to the Chernobyl sign, but we're not actually in Chernobyl yet. But of course we had to come and stop at this. It's actually kind of beautiful, all their colors. At this point we're both soaked, but that's okay.
In 3.5 hours, 43,000 people are evacuated tearfully but peacefully. Buses carry Europe's first atomic refugees. 48 hours after the disaster, the only people left in the ghost town are the military personnel and members of the scientific delegation, headquartered at the Pripyat Hotel.
Oh, they moved the statue? Oh, okay.
As if unaware of the danger, they eat, sleep and work right on the premises. The level of radioactivity suggests there's been a major accident somewhere. 60 hours after the disaster, still no official word has been reported outside of the Soviet Union.
Close radioactive cloud, serious contamination. It was Sweden that alerted us.
3 days after the accident, while Gorbachev is still trying to gather data, American and European spy satellites turn to the Soviet Union and discover the ruins of the Ukrainian plant. The smoke wafting from the gaping hole shows up clearly in thermal vision.
In the evening of that Monday, the 28th would be, we had a message from the Petrosian, who was the head of the Atomic Energy Commission in Russia, in which he told us about the accident, and about the same time the Russians actually released the information to the world.
On the third day of the crisis, General Antochkin and his fleet of 80 helicopters are sent from Moscow to fight the blaze and put the fire out. When he arrives, the general flies 200 meters above the blown-out reactor.
Because of the fire, the temperature at that height was between 120 to 180 degrees Celsius. Our dosimeter, the instrument for measuring radiation, only went up to 500 Roentgens. The needle was going crazy. It was completely off the scale. I think there were at least 1,000 Roentgens at a height of 200 meters.
Even at that altitude, a half hour of exposure could be lethal. The strong current of radioactive hot air streaming up from the reactor makes it impossible to get closer. They will have to improvise some way of carrying out their mission.
Something needed to be done as quickly as possible. Put out the fire and seal up the reactor to be able to get close enough to do other work. It also needed to be closed up to stop the radioactive dust from spreading. It was getting blown off by the wind. We really needed to act fast.
Gigantic ballet begins. Top pilots have been rushed back from the Afghan front to fly helicopters carrying soldiers who will toss 80-kilo sandbags into the blaze with their bare hands. They hope to smother the fire by filling the reactor with tons of sand and boric acid, which neutralizes radiation. The first day, 110 sorties. The next, 300. The radiation level above the reactor is over 3,500 Roentgens. almost 9 times the lethal dose. Some of the pilots make up to 33 flights in a single day. The population is still kept in the dark. There is only one report, a tiny article on the bottom of page 3 of the Pravda, playing down the accident and claiming the danger has passed. The radioactive cloud continues to drift over Europe. It floats over Bavaria and northern Italy. Radioactive cesium-137 and iodine-131 rain down on the south of France and Corsica. Crops and pastures are seriously contaminated. While French authorities deny its presence, the cloud reaches Great Britain and spreads to Greece. The plant reveal that the active zone can be approached through the cable and pipe tunnels built out of thick cement. A delegation of technicians from the Kirchhoff Institute venture into the labyrinth. It's tough going. Parts of the tunnels have collapsed in the explosion. They pierce through the shell of the 4th reactor with a blowtorch and stick their radioactivity detectors and thermometers in, along with cameras. The result is terrifying. The radiation levels are astronomical, and their worst fears are confirmed. The white-hot magma has cracked the cement slab and seeped into the empty basin. It is now threatening to sink even further.
There was a 5 to 10% risk of explosion. We drained the water from under the reactor, but something absolutely had to be done. Something had to be put underneath the reactor to keep the magma from seeping down. Something had to keep it from falling in.
Nothing is stopping the magma from seeping even deeper into the sandy subsoil. Beneath the reactor lies a huge stretch aquifer that supplies the entire country with water, where a complex cooling system of liquid nitrogen will be set up. In 1 month, 10,000 miners from Russia and the mining regions of the Ukraine are sent down into the tunnel. They're between 20 and 30 years old. Inside the tunnel, which has no ventilation, the temperature hits 50 degrees Celsius, and radioactivity is at a minimum of 1 roentgen per hour.
We worked without any protective gear. The miners couldn't use masks because the filters would get damp after a few minutes. So everyone just took them off and kept on working without them, with our shirts off too. We drank water out of open bottles, which was really bad.
But we had to build them ourselves. We lined the caps entirely with lead to protect our soldiers from radiation as best we could.
Each metallic piece of the structure is prefabricated, sometimes hundreds of kilometers away, then brought one by one onto the site for assembly. An extraordinary jigsaw puzzle. Beams 150 tons, 70 meters long. Buttresses 45 meters high.
We couldn't work very long on the side, and there was no room for error. The slightest miscalculation, and it would have been impossible to fit it all together.
The discovery of a new problem forces the work to a halt. The roof of the plant is covered in highly contaminated pieces of graphite. These pieces of graphite envelop uranium rods. They've been blown from the reactor during the explosion. One single piece gives off enough radioactivity to kill a man in less than 1 hour. They absolutely have to be gotten rid of before construction continues. longest time. They're between 20 and 30 years old, all of them reservists brought to the front of the most dangerous and deadly battle of Chernobyl. No human has ever worked in zones as radioactive as this.
For me, there was no question. I had to go and do my duty. Who was going to do it for me? Who was going to clean up this disaster and stop the spread of radioactivity all over the world?
2.5 weeks of hell. But hell only lasted 2 to 3 minutes for each soldier, or sometimes even just 40 seconds when the level was too high.
When the siren blows, a crew of 8 soldiers rushes up onto the roof along with an officer. Their mission is simple: shovel up the radioactive debris as quickly as possible and throw it off the roof. According to General Tarakanov's calculations, the level of radioactivity, estimated to be 7,000 roentgens per hour, only allows the bio-robots 45 seconds on the roof, only enough time for a couple of shovelfuls. For 10 days, a new crew of bio-robots climbs on the roof every 10 minutes. According to military personnel, 3,500 people participate in the cleanup. Some, like Igor Kostin and Konstantin Fedotov, went up on the roof 5 times.
If you look close, you can see traces of radiation on the film. I was holding the camera like this, and it was coming up from the ground, like that.
Thousands of them will discover that this peculiar taste means an invisible enemy is attacking.
These are theoretical calculations based upon the Hiroshima model, that you say that if you have a certain radioactivity, you know from Hiroshima that the long-term effect was so and so many would die from it. And if you then increase it by tenfold, you assume that it will be tenfold. Well, that's the calculation. This is not, I think, it's not empiric.
There again, the figures were surprisingly flexible. By the end of the conference, people were no longer talking about 40,000, but rather of 4,000 probable deaths. Nearly 20 years later, in September 2005, this figure became the official death toll of the disaster.
Disaster like Fukushima, Hiroshima and Chernobyl, the most terrible disaster in 20th century.
Oh.
So they wish to show us their support.
Oh, because they went through the same...
Yes, they went through the same. They really understand what we are having now. All the conclusion that our country made, I think, is the same one. And the origami, it's like a sign, like a hope.
Oh, yeah.
That nothing will happen the same to our countries.
Right.
And this is monument, so you can see Fukushima, Hiroshima, and this is Chernobyl with ropes from the nuclear power plant.
Oh, those are from the...
Yes, but its installation is a fake, but they are identical size.
Oh, okay, okay.
And should be with graphite, so the few channels.
Yeah. Oh, I see the stencil outline, yeah. Hiroshima. So the Japanese sent this over as tribute since they went through similar disasters.
Time.
Oh, okay.
A bit farther, we will see that it will be black one. And what is the difference? Here means that someone lives. It's like normal. I mean, maybe one settlement lived in that village.
Okay.
That one. So it's not abandoned at all. And when we will see black one, it's totally closed and no one is there.
Oh, okay. So these ones are open still. Okay. We said it was like a couple hundred or 1,000 different villages that were abandoned.
Here in Ukraine, 162.
162. These are all abandoned ones. Okay.
Memorial, it's a Wormwood Star calls, Wormwood Star Angel, and we have some improvement why we think that we already, all the population were warned before about this accident in the Bible.
Oh, in the
it
Bible.
Yes, it was written 2,000 years ago about wormwood star that will fell down in the water, and the water became bitter. And all the people who...
I've heard that, yeah.
Yes, and I told you wormwoods at Chernobyl.
Yeah, wormwoods to Chernobyl, yeah.
Yeah, so actually what we have now, it was already written in the Bible. So that is why the people decided, volunteers, to make this installation of wormwood star.